Hi everybody, it's Honest John again. Now, since Mitt Romney has become the figurehead of the Republican Party, seeing as he is their candidate for president, there is a lot of confusion about the Republican Party and what it stands for, what it's against. This is because whenever Mitt Romney makes a statement, the statement is usually designed to cloud the issue rather than to actually clarify it. Nobody knows what Mitt Romney actually stands for, and so there is some confusion about what the Republican Party actually stands for. However, over the past couple of years, the Republican Party has defined itself. We've learned a lot about what they're for and against by their actions. Now, everybody assumes that the GOP is anti-tax. But as we learned in the past year, they are only against taxing the rich. They were perfectly willing to let the tax rate rise on the middle class, and had to be dragged kicking and screaming into preventing that from happening. And in states that the Republicans are in control, they have raised taxes on the middle class and the poor, while giving huge tax breaks to the rich. It is also assumed that the GOP is against welfare. Well, they're against welfare for the poor, but they have resisted every attempt to rein in corporate welfare and welfare for the rich. It is assumed that the GOP are against wasteful government spending. But when they returned to power in the House of Representatives, they went back to using the old light bulbs that Nancy Pelosi had gotten rid of. These light bulbs use more electricity than the new ones do, and they don't last anywhere near as long. So you have increased electrical costs and increased maintenance costs. So the GOP are pretty much for wasteful government spending. It is also assumed that the Republicans are deficit hawks. However, since Reagan, the Republicans are responsible for about 80% of our national debt. And the economic plans of Paul Ryan and Mitt Romney, if they were to be implemented, would make our national debt skyrocket. Yes, they would cut programs for the poor and the middle class, but their tax breaks for the rich and the corporations, and increasing corporate welfare, and unnecessary increases in military spending, would create a mountain of debt. And if you've been paying any attention, you'll have to add in the costs of a couple of more wars, because the Republicans appear to be intent on getting us into war both with Iran and Syria. You might have noticed that the advisors to Mitt Romney on foreign policy are the same advisors to George Bush, who got us into Iraq and Afghanistan. So the whole thing about the deficit and cutting the deficit and all that stuff, that wouldn't happen under Romney and the Republicans, as it never does. The Republicans' health care plan is, as far as anybody can tell, simply to repeal the Affordable Care Act. Now they say repeal and replace, but we have no idea what they would replace it with, and neither do they. Obviously, the answer to the question is they would replace it with nothing. So things would go back to the way they were. Now, I'm not a big supporter of the Affordable Care Act, but I have to admit it is an improvement over what we had. So it appears that in addition to being pro-death penalty, the GOP is also pro-death by disease. Not only are they for the rights of fertilized eggs over the rights of actual women, they are also for the rights of bacteria and viruses over the rights of actual people. Now, at least they're consistent in that area. A couple of other things. The GOP have attempted to redefine rape in a way that would make it more rapist friendly. I think that's an important part of their platform. The GOP also claimed to be against big government. But in order to monitor every doctor's office and vagina in the country, the government is going to have to be huge. So there you have what the GOP say they are for and what their behavior say they are for. So you can make your own decision as to what you like and what you don't. Thanks for listening.